A few years ago, a young man put together something called Lion Tutoring, and tutoring was already there in Botswana, one thing people must just know and understand. But it started taking waves in the sense that tutoring became an alternative to the failing education system. I'm not saying this to accuse anyone, but I'm just simply saying the education system clearly is failing. Last year, over 30,000 students seem to have failed. We don't know where they're going, but maybe tutoring them might be a place to take them for them to be able to pass. Does this mean that tutoring is the future of education? I'm joined today on Conversation on the Things Said podcast by Tobo, just to understand what Lion Tutoring actually does. Right, so very good morning to you.
Thank you for having me, bro.
I have a problem pronouncing your last name because I don't know if it's. I always put an L in between.
Yeah.
So it's Khathola.
Khathola.
In Sesotho.
Yeah.
Exactly. My biggest argument has always been, is it Khathola or is it Khathola? Because it has to be Sesotho.
That's better. Whether you are better.
It's
Some boys
Khathola.
find Khathola.
Yeah.
They
My biggest problem was that I know KH.
Yes.
Spells Khe. So
Yeah.
I want to understand that part.
Yeah.
Right. So a very good morning. Maybe just tell us who you are. And thank you again for joining me.
No, the pleasure is mine, and you have a beautiful studio here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
SIPA came through. We are forever grateful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So basically, my name is Thobo. I'm the founder and CEO of Lion Tutoring. So as you said, we saw a need in the market. Two needs actually. One being the deteriorating pass marks, students not doing well, both in private and public schools.
Okay.
The second one, unemployment.
Yeah.
So our technology was like, how do we solve these two challenges? And Lion Tutoring was born.
All right. So let's understand the tutoring business from a Lion perspective, right? Are there teachers employed, or what exactly is a tutor, and who qualifies to fit in the tutoring space?
Yes. So what we do is a tutor can be anybody,
Okay.
as we see with our competition.
Yeah.
But we take it a notch above and say, let's go for teachers. Go for people who have a teaching background, people who have experience as tutors, and many of them are available. As you can see, the job market, unemployment, you get a lot of Bachelor of Educations, you get a lot of PGDEs, which are looking for employment. They can't be absorbed by all the schools. So that is where we get our tutors. We usually go for people who have a teaching background, teaching qualification, and have taught or tutored in their universities. If you go to universities like your UB, your BAC, you'd find that some of the master students, they do tutoring there. Okay. So even if they are not having an education background or education qualification, they have experience of tutoring in the university. So those are the people that we are going for.
Okay, so we look at Botswana here, right now.
Yes.
There are a lot of young people who are sitting out there,
Yes.
unemployed.
Yeah.
Many of them, even older people, many of them have got College of Education and so on, and they're sitting at home.
TTC,
So you are fitting that gap.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how is the reception though? You know, I asked this because Botswana, we were very proud.
Yes,
Okay?
yeah.
In the least possible sense. Someone going to become a tutor, I'll qualify to be a teacher. Do they actually simply just agree to do that?
You'll be shocked. You'll be
Okay.
shocked. Do you know that there are teachers who leave their jobs
To go and
to
tutor?
come and tutor because the hourly rates are good and you are in charge of your time? So basically, at Lion Tutoring, I wouldn't speak for our competition because I don't know their structures. So our tutors are employed as independent contractors.
Okay.
So basically, we have a system. You lock in your days and times. You can say, I'm available Mondays to Fridays from 9 o'clock until 4 p.m. and then maybe from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. because maybe you might want to do online tutoring. So you are in charge of your times. If you feel Wednesdays, I don't want to teach, I just want to spend time with my kids at home, it's yours. When it's up to you, which days and times do you want to? So to go to your point, people would leave their jobs to come and tutor with us because you are in charge of your times and the hourly rate are even slightly higher than at the schools.
Okay, so wait. The scheduling is driven online. It's a tech-driven scheduling.
Yes, yeah. No, now it's AI.
Yeah.
Now we've implemented AI, so it cuts the time and the headache of somebody sitting there. Find out what Malebo is available from 9 to 11. Tabang is available from 3 to 1. It now, the AI does all of that just to schedule the times. But as a tutor, you'd obviously let us know your availability hore o ka batla hore o tutor on which days and times.
Okay, so now let's say hypothetically I feel I can teach.
Yes.
Okay, how do I start being a part of this? Because this sounds to me like in drive,
Yes.
and you know,
Yes.
not
why we call
not
ourselves
taking
the
it down,
Uber
but
for
simply just
teachers.
yes, I saw that actually
Yes.
recently.
Yeah.
So it's an Uber-like system where it's
Yes.
online. If I feel like doing it, what do you need from me to qualify to be a part of Lion Tutoring?
Very rigorous program because remember, one, we are sending these tutors to your house as the client. So if you want to come,
And they're going to deal with kids.
they are dealing with kids. Yeah. So number one is the qualification aspect, which just goes to say, do you have, if you've done a accounting degree, you want to be an accounting tutor, at least have you done a PGDE or at least a
Postgraduate diploma in education
or qualification, where it has basic education skills. And nowadays they are there online. People can just go online using even the local Bokodol, your UNISA. Then at least you do a year or two of education, because it's one thing knowing your craft as an accountant, as an engineer. It's one thing to teach it to a student. So that's number one, the qualification aspect. Number two is just we do vetting. So we partner with local HR agencies to vet. If you don't have a criminal record, if you are not on any kind of sexual offenders list, which is very popular in South Africa and Kenya, where we are also doing, we run our business from there also. So we make sure you don't have any kind of criminal record. In South Africa, it goes a step further. They check if you don't have pending cases. So if you
investigations
go to,
and so on,
if you go to SAPS, you check no, Tobo doesn't have a criminal record, but maybe I have 5 pending cases of rape. So that the system will pick that up and then it will flag you. Then you won't even be given a chance to be a tutor with us.
All right. So let's look at Botswana though. The footprint of your growth in Botswana, how far or how wide is it?
So in Botswana, we do 2 services. The first service is in-person tutoring, which includes not just the tutoring and homeschooling. So where a tutor comes to your house or you come to our center. So we have a big HQ by Sekloa, Block 10, which can accommodate anything from 100 to 120 students. So that is the one part. Then the second aspect is the online tutoring. So there now we can tutor students anywhere.
From anywhere.
We've had students, even abroad. We've had students from Italy, from Brazil, we've had Spain, we've had UK. Because they do the same curriculum, which is IGCSE or A-levels or IB, which are internationally recognized curricula. So those are the 2 aspects. So Botswana, all our operations in person, they happen in Gaborone, but we have students go Francistown, Palape, Maung, who connect with the tutor online. And that is the case with South Africa. South Africa, we are in more cities, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban, Pretoria. And then the other ones in between, we do online tutoring like Borastenburg, etc. And then in Kenya, we have Nairobi. We've got tutors that actually go. Lion tutoring. Yes, well, it's Kenyans who do the tutoring, but the Botswana are the ones who manage those scheduling, those customer relations, payments, etc.
Okay, I want to zoom back into your life.
Okay.
Educationally speaking, who are you?
So Tobo is an interesting fellow, raised by 2 parents who were in the sense of they've retired now. They were working as lecturers. So even my aunts, most of them, my
So from an education family.
One way or the other, you'll get somebody in the family who will work a teacher or they've been a lecturer. So I'm from that education background. I went to Rainbow School from reception all the way until A-levels. And the turning point in terms of education, where I started taking it seriously, was when in Form 4, I was given an opportunity to skip Form 4. So I got Form 5 with the seniors, and I was able to get the 8th best grades. And I proceeded to do A-levels. Then I went to study at the University of Pretoria. That's where the tutoring journey started, because from my second year of school, I got a job I had 3 jobs.
All right.
Because my parents were paying for my fees. So
Yeah,
the
they're not government funded. Yeah, go thusa o iteka.
So yeah, I had to make my own allowance. I got a tutoring job at the university, and for another tutoring agency in South Africa. I was a driver at the university. So and they actually onboarded us students to be able to drive other students for conferences, for
Alright.
if there were intervarsity games, we would drive, even lecturers, if they had like a conference somewhere.
A student could drive them then.
A student, yeah,
Some
you get a
countries are
job,
way ahead of
yeah, you get a job as a
Dream of that in Botswana.
but it's possible, instead of hiring drivers,
Hire the
there are
students.
students. Hey, then you just say to the
Be
student,
careful, ban that
go-
student.
Hey, that is where the problem is,
Yeah, commitment, yeah.
Hey, and the third job I had was as a sales agent.
Okay.
So all of those, I think they really shaped up who I am as an individual.
Okay, so what are you studying in Pretoria?
Hey, interesting story. I was admitted to do actuarial science. So I did actuarial
What is that,
science.
just for someone who doesn't understand?
Oh, it's a very difficult course which does with a lot of mathematics, statistics.
Oh, okay.
And it's usually used by insurance companies to predict the trends in terms of your insurance packages, the risk profiling, or if Kaelo is a smoker and he maybe this,
Yeah.
what are the chances that he will live up to a certain age? Then they would tailor make an insurance product for people like
that,
you.
okay.
Or if Kaelo goes to the gym, or if Kaelo maybe is a safe driver, Hankara Ladi Roboto, and all of that, So as an actuary, you are able to do those kind of models, and yeah, it benefits the insurance companies. So first year, I FD'd after my first year. So that FD, for those who don't know what FD is, fail and discontinue.
Yeah.
So
I think UB students know that very well.
They know it very well. I got failed and discontinued. And when I was supposed to come back to Botswana, somebody took a shot on me. One of the HODs, they were like, at least you got 50% for economics. Let me register you for economics. That's the only course that had passed. Okay. The rest were just failed. So she gave me a chance. She even registered me for first year and second year courses. So if you understand how the whole
so from six modules you're going to probably 12.
Yes. So from those 6 modules, now I had to change my degree of study. So I didn't do actuarial science. I went to economics. So she was able to register me all of the first year modules, and the second year modules would be a prerequisite on the first year modules, which is unheard of. Like it wasn't.
That's almost double load.
Yes, yeah, but I was really, give me a chance. Even if I can repeat first year, I'm willing to do it. So she took a chance on me and said, no, I'm going to put you for first year and second year modules. And she said, don't play.
Yeah.
So when she said don't play, I made sure I leave that place. And yeah, my life went on an upward trajectory.
Okay, so you finished, you came back, and then when you go back to Botswana, what made you decide, okay, I'm starting this business?
Unemployment.
Okay.
Unemployed.
We are honest. Let's be honest. Unemployment is the biggest inspiration.
Yes, yeah. To be honest, growing up, I never really thought I would own a business or I never had that entrepreneurship.
Especially coming from a family where everyone seems to be a worker, especially within the education and public service.
Spot on. And as an economist, you come from University of Pretoria, I think ranked at the time the best 3 in Africa. Where chances of getting a job are very high. So you get here, there's unemployment. I tried to do my master's, I couldn't get in. So I was just like, hey, let me just register the business. Before even registering the business, I started, people at my church asked me, what are you doing? No, I'm not doing anything. Can you tutor my child? Then I would go there, tutor maybe twice a week. That money accumulated. Then I could see there's a market here. People are willing to pay for this service. So that is where then I registered the company, and then I started tutoring. Now I go to the students' homes to tutor. Then my time was very quickly fully booked. then I needed to engage other tutors. So that's how it just kept going.
Okay, so you then took a plan to say, I'm going to register this business.
Yes.
I'm going to go for this thing. Out of unemployment, obviously, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The people you are bringing in, what hope are you selling them for them to believe that they can get paid?
You just take a chance. I just had to take. And after the good thing is I had already made some money.
Okay.
Because myself, I was tutoring.
Yeah, so you were earning.
So I was earning. So there was that potential. So instead of turning a client away, I would recruit somebody and say, listen, for every 100 pula you make, I'll give you X amount. Okay. So even the business model also was determined by you tutoring and bringing the money. So it wasn't people that I employed like full-time contract, etc. So that same model that I saw being done in South Africa, I just implemented it this side.
Botswana are copycats.
Yes.
Were you not afraid that they will run away with your concept and start doing it behind your back? You must have experienced that along the way.
Even now.
Okay.
Even now. And I like what you're saying, Botswana, we like to copy. I see somebody doing something, I want to copy it. Yeah. But what I've seen consumers, they pay for brand equity. Yeah. They know that I want my child to go through this program because of this person.
It's not because you are coming here to teach, but it's
it's more of that, and just the ethos that we've built on the brand Lion Tutoring. Even when somebody doesn't know me, they know that instead of taking Sahamiti's tutoring company, it's just I would rather go for this because it's an institution. Yeah. We have a broad spectrum of tutors. 400 tutors. It's an organization. So it's the same as right now. If you were to buy a Coke at a shop, and not even somebody just comes about, no man, I get a Coke with you get it. Mm-hmm. You ask yourself questions. Where did you get that Coke? But if it's in a shop, it's an establishment. You feel safer to know that likely it's not expired, likely it's been brought from, procured from the right place, etc. So I think just the brand equity and the strength and the promise that we make to the clients is what, even up to today, we're not afraid of the competition. Yeah,
which brings me to wonder this, right? By the time you came back from Pretoria, and it's not so long ago, there were already tutorial operations in the country. Yes. There were students teaching students, peer educators, tutors everywhere. How did you set yourself apart to say, okay, no, it's already happening. The ground is already, people are already doing this, but I'm going to set myself here and take this direction?
For us, the biggest, I think you want the secret sauce.
Yeah, but no, don't divulge all the details. Yeah. But it's just, how did you then decide to say, okay, obviously Thobo is there tutoring, the Sego is there tutoring, and they're making their money however they are. Yeah. But I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to call this Lion Tutoring. And I'm going to brand it with this brand. And I'm going to set myself this different. How did you do that? Yeah.
Well, the secret sauce can be divulged, which is usually technology. All right. Technology allows us to be able to deploy tutors to your house. So with Thobo and XYZ, PTY, LTD companies that have been there and that continue to come even after us, they have where the student goes to the center.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of malfunctioning of schools, even everywhere,
Yeah, it's quite rare that you'll get a tutoring company that will deploy the tutor to your house. Why? Because the admin is a lot. You need to have the right technologies to be able to help you to, 1, monitor the lessons, 2, monitor the tutors, 3, monitor the students. So with us, it was just that operation. Now it still sets us aside. Most of the tutoring companies, the students come to us. Now in other markets,
even when they go, you call them, and then the person will say,
exactly. So now with us, with the whole admin team, if one tutor doesn't go, we are able to immediately deploy another tutor who can stand in for the lessons. Now, in other markets like South Africa, that thing is already being done. There are many tutoring companies, and some which are bigger than us which do that. But still, the technology helps us to beat them. We have an app which is like Uber for tutors on your Google Play Store, on your Apple Store. So that app, it allows you to be able to see the tutors that you want and be able, as a parent, to check whether I want a lady tutor or I want a gentleman tutor of the age of this. Even it has even user generated detail ratings from other users, so you can see whether this tutor has 5 stars. Other parents, what do they say about that particular tutor, if they are good, etc., etc. So that is what is really setting us apart from the other tutoring companies. Even schools, right now we have homeschooling, right? Your child, even if they go to a private school, they wouldn't know who the maths teacher is until a couple of lessons, and they decide, "Hey, I don't like this maths teacher." What recourse is there? There's no recourse. That is the maths teacher.
You are stuck with that. It's a template.
It's a template. I know the maths teacher from 3, you are in that class, and there's nothing you can do about it. But with us, in terms of homeschooling, we allow the parent and the student to have a dialogue and say, my child is not really picking up the accent of this tutor, or my child is not really understanding the teaching methods of this tutor. Change a tutor, and we are able to do that. And usually after 1 or 2 times, the student would be happy with the tutor that they have.
All right. So the fear of technology, how do you conquer it? This is because Botswana have it. Some Botswana, not all of them. I keep saying Botswana, they'll kill me one day.
You are generalizing us.
Yeah, but that fear is there. It's so much that you obviously at one point just say, it's all of that. That fear of technology. This is now, let's start with the teachers themselves, or the tutors themselves, right? How did you make them understand to conquer the fear of technology in this space?
Yeah, so the tutors, it's not a problem because they're young people. Most of our tutors are less than 40 years.
Okay.
So in any case, they are using technology in terms of tutoring. Some of them, they are even working for international companies like Upwork. They can be able to render their services on Upwork, on Fiverr. So they're already playing around with technology, yes. Even for Facebook, once you open a profile with us, it's like opening a Facebook profile. You just go there, you put your details, your qualifications, you attach all your documentations, then you are good to go. But now the parents, that's where the challenge was. And can you believe that now, I think a good 40% of the parents that we have, they book their tutor on the app. It's unheard of, you know.
Yeah, that's a great trend.
It's unheard of because, but because we've offered some incentives on the app, there are discounts. You get those free lessons once you pay on the app. Most of them have migrated to the app, and they'll come to our office saying, how do I download this? And we spend time with them. We show them, mama, when you get home, or we even download it there with them. You say, that's your credit card. So it's a secret. We can't look at it, but you enter these 16 numbers in front of your credit card, then the expiry date and the CVV number at the back. Then once you've put all of those details there, we are able to access payments on a monthly basis. And you find what the rates are actually lower. So because of that 10% discount that they get, they're able to come and onboard and they even like to appreciate all the other features of the app, to say, okay, so I can see the different tutors, I can read their profiles, I can see their qualifications, their availability. So they tend to, if there's an incentive, they tend to onboard that technology.
Okay. So now, beyond just the booking of the tutors, what else does the app do? Does it tell me I'm homework, I'll need to homework and so on?
We are getting there.
Okay.
So we are getting there on the feedback. So right now we have feedback reports, but they're emailed to the parents on a monthly basis, which is what sets us apart from the competition again. Because with the competition, or with schools, or with other tutoring companies, they get after every term. So as they go on a monthly basis, and it's a comprehensive report. It will tell you the comprehension of the student on a particular topic, what can be done, how can we change the approach. So we are working on the app to be able to generate that. We're also working on the app to be able to show you where the tutor is. So if the tutor is running late, the app will be able to show you where the tutor is at this location. Then just like Uber, you can be able to see that
When the tutor is on the way.
on
Okay.
the way coming to your house. Yeah, so that is one of the technology that we are working on. Yeah, we are also working on a technology that, as a parent, you can be able to refer another parent, and you can be able to get some kind of discount coupons, etc.
Okay. So now this exists, but the biggest thing that we see as a report from a lot of parents why their kids are failing is because they believe that they are not engaged in that. They're not involved, or parents are not involved in their kids' education. Is your service able to get direct parent engagement, especially on a daily basis?
Yes. You know, the thing is basically, parents are busy. Parents are very busy. They go to work. Most of the time, you are at work until late hours. So that engagement, it comes through. There's a lot of AI that we are working on that you can be able to assess and see where your child is. But the reason why there are tutors is because you don't have time.
Yeah.
And we would like to be that service where you can be able, not to say or entirely dump your child and not know what is happening, because kids are very they feel appreciated when they see that mom and dad are interested in what I'm doing. So we become that in between, that in between the student and the parent, in the sense that we are able to bring the parent up to speed, to say, this is where your child is. This is the support that you can give your child. And we've had instances, especially in South Africa, where if a parent is going for the parent-teacher day, they would request our tutor to go with them. Just
go and listen with them,
just to go and listen to what the teacher is saying and have that, and not disclose to the school, or my child is getting extra tutorial lessons. Most of the schools, they're against it. Because they want they want the child to pay for the extra lessons at school. But most of them, they're open to it, and they're saying, well, this is going to help, because it means that if the tutor is able to do this work that the student has fell behind on, and I can continue to do the work that all the students, instead of now every student, if you have a class of 40 students, you can't give them all individual attention and know what honor. That's where we come in as tutors.
Okay, so now let's jump into regulation, right?
Yes, yeah.
Is this industry regulated at the moment?
No, at the moment, tutoring
In the Botswana perspective.
In the Botswana perspective, South Africa, there's been very immediate changes that were made. If you've been following the news, it was called the Bella Bill, which is now the act has been passed in Parliament as the Bella Act. So it regulates homeschooling. It regulates how tutoring industry works. And usually it's because of the qualifications. They regulate who can and who cannot be a tutor. There's a South African Council of Educators, which all our tutors, or we employ people who are registered with the South African Council of Educators. Now, in the Botswana perspective, seeing that is not been heavily regulated yet, that's why you can get
You're saying heavily regulated?
It hasn't been heavily regulated yet. So that's why you can get so many people just come in and say, I'm a tutor, and then they're able to register the tutoring company. But we follow the strict regulations of the international
benchmarking with the other countries.
Yes, even as far as your UKs, etc. Who can we say can be a tutor? What do they need to have? That is why we make sure we go for teachers or for people that have been registered with the Council of Educators. In Botswana, there is one, but it's still also just coming up. Now, BQA has been regulating the schools because they've been, they issue out certificates. So that is why they would regulate your schools. They would regulate your short courses. But with the tutoring industry, they said that they are coming, well, it was in the previous government, they said that they will be releasing the guidelines to the regulations, of which we are still awaiting them. But
you are not directly dealing with examinations or examining the students.
We don't.
Because these students are going to sit at Maitamo Primary School anyway, and then write a BEC exam.
Exactly. Or even the students who are doing homeschooling with us, they would come, would teach them the curriculum as they could, even if they were doing it by themselves, but would still take them to back or to go and register for the IGCSE, or to go to the like we have a partnership with LKC. So the Livingston Kolobeng College, they have private candidates registrations. So our students, we would take them to LKC, then they would register as private candidates. So you'd find even the student who is sitting for the first time, they can go and register for all the subjects, write the exam, and then obviously get the same qualification that a student who is doing full-time would get. Even those who are rewriting. So you'd find a student is writing 8 subjects, what they're enrolled at, then they would fail 3. So these 3, they would do homeschooling with Lion Tutoring, and then we would register them with LKC to go and supplement and write those 3.
Okay, this sounds more like a Bokodol now Open University.
Yes.
So meaning I could take my child to Lion Tutoring for tutoring purposes.
Yes.
But then I still go to Bokodol, to Botswana Open University,
yes,
to go and register them there to write the exam.
To write the exam, yes. And we encourage both. We encourage both to say, let your child go to BOU, school with the other kids, and come to us for tutoring. But there are instances where a parent would say, you know what, let me pull out my child from a classroom setup.
Yeah, maybe that's
want a
what
one-on-one. Yes, because with us, most of our services are one-to-one. They are one-on-one. So a student will get that individualized attention throughout.
All right.
So that is why you get a lot of parents pulling their kids out of school to say, go to Lion Tutoring so that you have one-on-one teaching.
All right. Yeah. So this time of the year is your busiest. I want to assume for BGCSE.
Correct.
This is when it picks up properly to say parents now take it seriously because mock exams just ended and so on.
Yes.
How is the uptake so far in terms of this time of the year?
Yeah. Every year, this time from August, from July till the end of the year is very busy, like you are saying, because the students who are already enrolled at your conventional schooling, it's just 2 months to the exams. So both PSLE, I think PSLE are starting this month, then October, November exams for BGCSE. JC is also just before that, also beginning of October. Then IGCSE A-levels. Then we also have university students. So that student who is doing maybe a Bachelor of Economics, they're struggling with statistics. They know that rather...
Wait. Nah, sorry, but I'm judging you from primary school. I'm judging you from primary education level.
Yes.
You are doing tertiary as well.
Tertiary as well, yes. No, man, we even have research, we have research tutors. By the way, if you are doing your masters, instead of collecting data yourself, you can engage us to help you collect data, and then you stick to your dissertation. So you know that now data collection, if you are maybe analyzing data from statistics, instead of going to statistics Botswana yourself.
Yeah, which takes from your class time.
It takes from your class time, it takes from, sometimes you are working, you are doing your masters as you are working, and your dissertation, your actual dissertation that you are going to be marked on. So the data collectors can go there on your behalf or go online. Like in South Africa, these Stats SA can just go online, be able to get that data and then present it. Then you can just deal with your dissertation.
Okay, so that on its own then says a lot. Parents now are going for this. Don't you ever get overbooked?
Yeah, no, we do. There are instances where, the overbooking happens. But, the good thing is we are always on a continuous recruitment process. We are always recruiting. That is why we say that Lion Tutoring could be the solution to unemployment. Because on a daily basis, we are checking to see how many students need tutors, how many students are on the waiting list, and how many tutors can we onboard. So that is why there's always an ongoing recruitment process. And we hopefully by end of next year, we would have employed 1,000 tutors.
So you're sitting on 400 now, you
We are sitting at 400.
This is Botswana only or across?
This is Botswana, South Africa, and Kenya.
Okay, but now the uptake...
But Kenya and South Africa, we are still growing.
Okay.
So you'd find in each country there's less than 50 tutors each.
In each country?
Yes.
Okay, so now we are now going to talk directly to an unemployed Botswana who thinks that going into this might not be very ideal or getting a job has been difficult. What do you need from them? If someone now decides, okay, I'm watching this podcast, I'm going into this.
Yeah. So the basic thing is they need to be having that PGDE. Like we always request
Let
that
me just share some
have,
water with you,
have your PGDE
Yeah.
there. Thanks, bro. Have your PGDE there. You know, invest in just getting a post certificate of education,
Okay.
so that you can be at least knowing how to teach over and above having your qualification.
Okay,
So,
so
yeah.
I want to squeeze you into a corner of social responsibility, right?
Yes.
Obviously, you've got access to information, or your team has got access to information of where someone can get a PDGE when they need
Yes.
it. Unemployment is serious. Like,
Yes.
I meet young people every day, you know, who come and say, I'm unemployed. How can you help me? And I've got no way to help. Because I'm equally unemployed. Okay,
Yeah. Self-employed.
but they can start this journey, right? Is there a way you think is possible for you to help with information, obviously not donating
Yes.
anything, with information of where people can go and get these things cheaper and so on?
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I'm also taking notes.
Yeah,
That's
I'm willing to
something
work
that we
on you with that. I'll use the
Yes.
media part of it, and then we try and get it going. Yeah.
But even our website, we try to share as much information as possible.
Okay.
Platforms like these, as you are saying, kind of this conversation is going to air, and somebody's going to get the information. So we really need that. But locally, there's your UB. There's Botu University.
Botu
Yes.
University,
Yeah, they also have a post graduate qualification in education. I think the biggest concern or the biggest problem with young people is Madigayo. So
Yeah, and these guys don't do it cheap. Eh? The PDG is quite expensive because I think the demand is coming with it.
Yes, but Botswana, we are a spoiled generation. We are a spoiled generation.
Government must do everything for us.
The government should do everything for us. We've seen in countries like Kenya, somebody would literally wash cars, car wash, to put themselves through school, work odd jobs, like seriously odd jobs, like washing dishes in a restaurant. You know, we look down upon to say, I won't do that. I won't do that job. But that is the job that you are going to use to get you the money to put yourself through school, to get that qualification and get a better job.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. I don't know. Maybe this is just my own thought and it's my opinion. Fairly, it's just an opinion.
Yeah.
Botswana use their money for social things because they believe government will do things for them. I don't know if it just.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think we earn our money, so we can afford to go to the bar and the nightclub because government will pay for school. Government is paying for school anyway in our brains.
In our
Maybe
minds.
that's, you know.
You know, with our friends, somebody can spend 5,000 pula.
I've seen those receipts online.
And that is probably just the month's school fees when you go to university. You can literally, you'd find they're not even that expensive.
Yeah, probably
Kana
about
university-
19,000 a year.
Yes, yeah.
And in
you can
the
break
2
it
sessions
down.
of beer, you could have paid for it.
You could have paid for that. Or even online, the free ones.
Yeah.
I know there's Stadio. Most of the students in South Africa, they do Stadio. There's Coursera, you know, free courses, or you can do online. You can be able to get your qualification. The only thing I get with Coursera,
To get a certificate, you must pay.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money, though. Yes, but you can also get your transcript to prove to say I've been doing Coursera, maybe basics of tutoring or basics of teaching. That is something that it can sell.
Yeah, but I think one of our large numbers of unemployed people in the country, we said this at the beginning, might mostly be teachers. Because remember, when you can't qualify for UB, you are going to MCE or back then TTC and so on.
Yeah.
That's where people went to because they couldn't go to UB.
Yes.
Right? These people are there now. Some of them are disgruntled, are crying, are angry.
Yes.
How can you get them into this system? If you give an opportunity to say, okay, we have a small event, information session in Mulepole, for example, can they all gather and understand what you do? Would you do that?
I would connect us. Maybe the people that can open that avenue. But I mean, we're always open to do that. Even on our socials, when the job seekers are there, we always release items on our socials. The thing is the mindset. That mindset change campaign was a very powerful campaign.
But we only used it to change other things.
We used it to change other things.
We changed something else.
Yeah.
We forgot to change our own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you look at an average Motswana, the pages that you follow on social media, are they adding to what they want to become? You'd find, or they won't even follow we have another page for recruitment
Okay.
where we share those kind of insights. You don't even need to leave Molepolole. You don't even need to leave Tamar. You can be there and apply onto our platform. Once we recruit you, we onboard you. Our information sessions are all done online. Our training programs are all done online. And you can literally tutor a student online, Aloko Cape Town,
Without having to leave the comfort of your own
without
home.
having to come to Gaborone.
Yeah.
The thing is, we think Gaborone is where everything
Yeah,
is.
but understand this. If I'm going to get a job, I want to be near the office to come and complain. That's how I'm thinking.
That's how I think. Yeah, true. Mindset change.
Yeah.
Mindset. You know, in South Africa, most of our employees, we haven't seen.
Okay.
They are working for
You've never
Lion
met
Tutor.
them?
We've never met them. They are working for Lion Tutor. You know, when I worked at my first job, it's a company based in Cape Town. I was working in Pretoria. I have never met those people. Working for them for 4 years, earning ridiculous salaries, but I have never met them. I meet the clients. I'm trained to say, if I go to the client, this is how I address myself. This is how I represent the company.
This is how I dress.
This is how I dress. There's a whole course. They will put you through courses to say, this is the company culture. You don't have to violate the rules. And they get feedback from the clients to say, Tobo is actually a good tutor, keep him. Or my pillow is not a good tutor, check her out. So that is where the world is going.
Okay,
it's
so
called the gig economy.
the gig economy.
The
Yeah.
gig economy.
Which we are failing to do as a country because it leads to a 24-hour economy and we get to that space.
Yes.
So now, right now, is your system open? Because this is a busy time of the year for you. Is your system open for me to decide, hey,
Yes, it is. It's open all the year through, and our technology is very strong in the sense that we can be able to load many sessions at the same. There won't be a case where our app is not working because there are so many people using it or it crashes. So at any point in time, go there, interact with it. We are tutoring students 24 hours. So you find where we even have tutors by where they wake up as early as 3 o'clock to tutor students in Australia because Australia is ahead of us in time.
Yeah.
Or some tutors would even work late at night, kaboma 11 o'clock. Why? Because there's a tutor in Canada and they have to stay late. Maybe it's 7 o'clock in Canada, it's 11 o'clock this side.
Okay. The reason I asked earlier in our conversation if there's an uptake in Botswana to choose between working online and going to be an actual teacher with a tie or kamokwanya and so on,
Yes.
is because I usually sense a bit of fear when I talk to Botswana where they feel I'm educated for this job, I must do this job. When you tell them no, there's an alternative. While we are waiting for government to place you, go whatever primary school that might not even open, why don't you do this, right?
Pivoting.
Yeah. So let's take teachers who are already working. Are they willing to do the same? Because they've got the experience and they knock off at 4:30. There are no sports in schools. They really have nothing to do.
So the good thing with us is we take both.
Okay.
There are some people that come to us and tutor full time. So they'll start there at 8 o'clock, about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And there's some who are doing it part-time. That you'd find somebody's a banker, they've done that post-certificate in education. So even after hours, they can be able to tutor. Weekends, they can be able to tutor. Holidays, the same. So we allow both. As long as it doesn't conflict with your contract of employment, we always encourage the teachers to say, if you are working for a certain school, look at your contract, check if it doesn't
if
conflict.
you're allowed to.
Yeah, because it can be conflict of interest. Where at the one side you are teaching the kids and you are failing them on purpose.
So that you can recruit. No, but that's actually in some private schools that I'll never mention by name, there's situations where the teacher simply lags a little bit in class, and then when the parent comes and says, no, but if you take tutorial classes, which I offer by the way, yes. So we just discourage that altogether to say, you know what, make sure that it doesn't clash with your contract of employment at school. And as for everyone, there are so many jobs that are now being created at Lion Tutoring. We have accountants, we have internal auditors. So apart from the people who are just educators, we have security guards, we have cleaners,
we
Even
have
compliance.
drivers, we have, yes, yeah, we also have compliance, but compliance is also with HR.
Okay.
We've got HR teams, we've got training teams. So you'd find we've created this whole economy, which is also supporting the work that the tutors are doing.
All right. So now, let's take a bit of a poke at the faith in the education system, right? Clearly, the fact that your business exists and grows means the education system is flawed.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Can it be fixed, or should we just all give up and say, "Now when get school, if he likes gaming, he'll continue gaming, but that's life." Because gaming is also a career for
It
some of
is.
the kids.
It is.
Should I let my son just buy a gaming computer for my son and then say, "Look, Lion Tutoring will come and sort me out"?
The education system is a big problem. It's a big problem in the sense that, think of it, that picture that was trending, the fish, the monkey, the giraffe. The test or the exam, who can climb the tree? Who's gonna climb is the fish gonna climb the tree? Is the giraffe gonna climb the tree?
We are not the same.
Exactly. You are putting Little Tebogo in a maths class, and to say for you to have a chance of your future is if you can solve this simultaneous equation. Why is Little in a maths class?
The guy only needs to know how to overtake.
Or he needs to do subjects which are going to help him as an athlete. He has to do sports science, he has to do something nutrition, public speaking, those soft skills, nutrition, body anatomy, but he has no business doing English, even if he can't speak English.
No, it's okay. We ran fast. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Lightning is so fast.
And most of the time, just to brand Botswana, why is it that every time where these guys are being interviewed, they feel the pressure to speak English, but the guys Babo France, they just come there, bonjour, he speaks in French.
Hey,
then the translator will
translate. Let them learn our language.
Let them learn Botswana. Let a translator go. If Little doesn't want to speak English, he will just come there and then the translator will go and translate.
And actually to create a job for them
for the translator.
Because we are trending as a country.
We are trending as a country.
We might as well learn how we speak.
Yeah. So why is it that we have to feel that pressure? So back to the education system, I feel that is the clear gap. And there was actually this outcome-based learning, which I was thinking could be a solution, but now it's becoming difficult because now to implement it, you are implementing it with teachers by they've been teaching for 20 years.
Giraffe, monkey, and a fish.
And a fish, yeah. And you are telling them to change their methods of teaching this year, but this is how they've been teaching for 20 years. Why is it that we can't introduce it to the new crop of teachers? Why is it that we can't have a mixture of new educators and old educators? The old educators need to understand that there's something new that is happening. And the new educators need to get the experience coming and the maturity from the old educators. So that is the flaw. Second flaw that I actually did, I was part of the presidential committee when it came to the value chain development from the previous government. So some of the recommendations were that to say, why is it that we are still importing the curriculum from abroad? South Africa is using their own metric system. We are still using the UK Cambridge-based system. Why can't we have our own system? Because where now does the value chain, who controls the value chain? Them. We use the books that are published by them. We use the curriculum which is done by them. We don't use our own curriculum that we could have been developing ourselves. And some of the Botswana, we are capable of developing curriculum. We've done it in other countries. Some of the Botswana, that are publishers, they can write books. If it's a local curriculum that we have, we can start having local publishers, local authors. The value chain, the jobs can be brought back. But one thing I always say about Botswana, we are very good at exporting jobs.
And actually, if I remember very well, I think it was last year, I had a conversation with someone at BTV who was a guest on a show that I used to host then.
Oh, yeah.
And the lady says to me, she publishes education books for kids.
Yes. Yeah.
They are selling in South Africa. Botswana is refusing to sell them because they're not published by some guy in Europe.
Yes.
So Botswana, who are authors, are not fitting into the value chain also because their books don't qualify to be looked at by BEC and Ministry of Education because they are not part of the system.
Yes.
So maybe if we design, like you say, our own education system, we might be able to grow our own authors and so on.
And our own skills.
And our own skills,
Remember that there are so many skills that Botswana have, indigenous skills, that even the people coming from abroad, they come there, they go to the Kalahari Desert, they try to find out what Larry, when you mix this plant and this, what happens.
this,
you know, there are so many, even medicinal value, that those guys, they come, they pick that plant, they package it, they sell it abroad, then we buy it from them.
Yeah.
You know, never mind the talk about hemp. Before we can get to hemp, we're still far.
We're
because
far.
they
we haven't even explored
Sengaparile sa rona, it's growing there organically. You're saying we should not I'm indifferent when it comes to hemp. So your audience shouldn't say I'm for or against. I'm just indifferent. But now when you talk about the local ones, why are we overtaking these local ones? We can even get them. Those guys, they get them here, they take them there, they export them there as pills. We just get a pill, or this pill does ABCD. How it went there to bottle it and we are buying it back.
Yeah, there's something called Hodia.
Hodia, yes.
It's actually here. It's just here in Kalahari, but
yes.
So what do you suggest we should do to fix the education system? Because as you said the new education system has to measure with the new people.
Yes.
But MC is still teaching what they picked up 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Again, you have to look at the trends, the job trends. An education system should be very, very tied with the job trends. What are the jobs of the future? AI. You know, there's a study that was done at the University of Pretoria. Do you know that study says a first-year student, the course they're studying is almost redundant. So by the time they graduate, that course is useless. Because you'd find there are systems, there are artificial intelligence systems. A student is there maybe studying bookkeeping, but there's a AI.
You don't need a human being to keep your books anymore.
Exactly.
You know, it's just for compliance.
It's just for compliance. No, but even apart from compliance, there are tools that are able to track your transactions and even complete your financial statements that you're going to submit at BRS, submit at the banks. You don't even need a human being in that.
But my kids are learning that anatomy of a grasshopper.
Anatomy of a grasshopper. They're learning Dimo Oheditse Motse. Well, the Chinese kids, they are learning to code. They are learning how to work with AI. They are also learning.
But remember, if I take my child and say, look, start coding.
Yes.
People are going to say, lemon. Computer.
Yes, yeah.
So they find it as motameko. So at what point do we make, even forget the government and the teachers and the education system, the parents themselves?
Yes.
At what point do we make them understand that if your child is not passing maths, that child might be good at something else?
At something else. And that is your duty as a parent. As a parent is your duty, because if your child in the future is unemployed, it's not a problem of the government. It's a problem of you as the parent failing to have identified where there are natural talents. We saw Mahwe Litile Teboho, may her soul rest in peace. She was going to support Litile. From an early age, she was there. She was the pioneer, making sure her child is in the right places, running in the right competitions, going there herself. The story of Litile Teboho, we are only learning of it now once he's successful. We don't look at the times where he was running the school competitions, and the mom has to organize accommodation, organize all of that. We're just seeing him now because he's already a global phenomenon, So as a parent, it's your duty to make sure that you discover your child's talents. You engage people like us we have psychometric tests. We can be able to advise you to say where your child's strengths lie in this area. Or if they're thriving in those, which are the courses that it seems like your child gets a spark in their eye? How long your child wants to be a historian, but when you want them to be, or they want to be a chef, When you want them to be a mathematician because wa go bereka kae, wa go nna masapi, that child is probably going to work as a chef in a different country.
Or own a chain of a chain of food distribution companies.
Even locally. So
Yeah.
I think as parents, it's our duty to be able to spot the talent. You have to be able to spot. If you can't, hire people that are going to help you to spot the talent in your child and get them in the right universities. Let me give another example. There's one of our parents, the child just likes music. So that child, they didn't care about school. And then I study some music in South Africa, Boston College, because they're inspired by DJ Fresh. So once the parent brought this problem to us, we were able to say, you know what? When I spoke with the student, I was like, but do you know that you are going to need physics? Because that side is not like music, you are just going to be... You have to understand the physics. You have to understand how music bounces around material. You know, you have to understand wavelength. You have to understand all of those physics-related sound, or how does sound travel, etc. Within 3 months, that child was starting to do very well in physics because he understood what this subject is going to help him in the career that he wants. And he had actually ended up going to Boston. The mom had to pay for him, and he's a sound engineer, and he's based that side.
Yeah, but that's outcome-based education.
Yes.
You see, you manage to tell the child. See, right now we're just saying go to school.
Yes.
You manage to tell the child that, look, you need to know wavelengths, you need to know amperage, you need to know all these things.
Yes.
But then the child took physics seriously, not because of going to school, but because of the outcome that they're hoping for.
That he wants to get, yes.
Why are we failing this at Maitlamo Primary School?
I think we don't listen to the kids. If a child asks you, where am I going to need this in real life? We always dismiss the kids. They want to know how, if you can now, as an educator, relay it back to say, you are going to need this in real life because as whatever career they want to pursue, you are going to need this to do A, B, C, D. Trust me, that always 99% of the time works with the student because they know what my educator knows what I want to become in life, and they know what they're going to tailor make my education. That is where education is going. It's tailored education. It's not a one size fits all. The person giving us the medicine migraine, stress, dehydration. So they have to go back to. So that is where specified or tailor-made education fits in. You have to know the needs of your student, their challenges, where they want to go in life, and create a program around that.
All right. So now we obviously need solutions, but those are policy and politicians to handle there.
Yeah.
I'm a parent. My child is going to Form 5 or Standard 7 or whatever right now.
Yes.
What are you going to help me with when I come to you and say, what I want to gap us?
Yes. So the main thing is we need to be able to see what their current performance is.
Okay.
Usually it's too late. I gotta tell you, like you are saying, it's a bigger macroeconomic, now you have to go to the micro to say this child has to pass. And usually we would say, let the child also have time to benchmark with other people who are doing that career. We have some pilots, some parents are pilots, some parents are accountants. So some of the kids that want to do accounting can organize and say, go and see what an accountant does, go and see what a doctor does, go and see what a dentist does. And most of the time the student will come back and say, you know what, after having seen what they do, I don't want to do that, until they will get to a career what they want. Then the moment you can match that with the subjects they're doing, you will see what the child will get more motivated. One thing I've seen is motivation plays a huge role in performance. A student who's always motivated, they know where they're going. And as a parent, it's your responsibility to make sure that your child is motivated. The fact that you are already fighting with your child to study, fighting with your child to leave TikTok, it means that you haven't cracked that code of how do you motivate them. Because a child who's motivated, who knows the focus of what they are doing, they will automatically pay no attention to the distraction. So it's a game plan. As a parent, you should be able to do that spotting.
All right. So the future of education, just in short before we wrap up, what do you see coming, especially from your end of the business, which is more on the tutoring side of it?
So future of education from my side is to encourage even the parents to say, whatever career your child is doing, let them have something in coding, let them have something in AI. And right now, some of the schools, private schools, they are offering them, even the companies that are offering AI coding, because that is where the jobs of the future are. They are in coding, they are in our interaction. Think of coding and AI as typing was at 2000.
Yeah.
Because everyone was onto, you can't now communicate with the computer. Right now, everyone knows how to type.
Yeah.
But there's a time where typing was the in thing. So it's the same thing with typing. Everyone is going to
Actually,
need
typing
to
is
understand.
fading away. I think of the way I use AI is that I'm always on conversation with the AI, and it
ChatGPT.
writes everything.
Yeah.
You go to ChatGPT, it's going to do everything for you. So even typing is fading.
Yes, but even with ChatGPT, you have to be good at prompting it.
Exactly.
If you are not
You
a
need to
good
tell it
prompter,
right.
it won't give you the data that you need. You need to be able to tell it, or ChatGPT, I'm a news reporter, I need A, B, C, D. You have to talk to it like a human being. You have to communicate it that way. So those are the jobs of the future. Parents need to make sure they get their child to do any kind of artificial intelligence, even if it's online, even if it's in person. We also provide something like that so they can get on hold with us, and just spot the different careers that your child can do, and just motivate them towards those careers.
All right. Let's talk to someone who wants to sign up now to be a Lion tutor.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Where do I start? What should I have ready
Yes.
so that I can come and qualify to be one of the tutors that are within the 400 of Lion
Yes.
Tutoring?
Yeah. So on our website, www.liontutorinternational.com, there are two tabs. So the first one is Become a Tutor. The second one is Get a Tutor. Okay. So if you're a parent and you want a tutor, you just go there. You tell us where you stay, etc., the subjects that you need, and then it will automatically send you our pricing list. For the tutors, you go there, you click Become a Tutor. It's an application. So you tell it where you've studied, etc. Then there's a part where you're going to upload your transcripts. It will just guide you. So you upload your transcripts, A, B, C, D. Bam, you submit that. Then it talks to our HR office. If you qualify, it will call you back for interviews, and then we onboard you as a tutor. Then the apps work even better. If you want to get a tutor, you just go into the app, it picks your location, you tell it the subjects that you want, it will show you the different tutors, you book the tutor, you pay, then we send the tutor to your house.
Okay. How's the rate paid though? Is there a negotiable rate between me and the tutor, or is it directly me paying to Lion Tutoring?
So we are the middleman.
Okay.
So we charge you and we pay the tutor.
Okay, so you have a standard set rate.
We have a standard rate. So our rates are into packages. So you'd find there's a silver package. Twice a week, we send the tutor for 2 subjects, Kibokana per month. Another package, 3 times a week, we send the tutor to your house, Kibokana. Online package is called the diamond package. It will also tell you what the monthly cost is. And usually we are able to just deduct the money from your account on a monthly basis. And then with the tutor also, the rates are also determined by how many students are you tutoring at a time, what is the distance. So it's all punched into the system.
Oh, so I was going to ask you how much is the rate?
The rate is anything from 500 to 300 pula or rands. Kenya agrees times 10.
Shillings. So,
The shillings is
50,000.
so you buy 50,000, maybe 5,000.
Yeah.
So that is basically how so our tutors tend to make anything from 0 to 15,000 pula or rands per month. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Depending on the number of hours they tutor.
Yeah, but I hope also you do manage so they don't overload themselves out of human greed.
Yes, no, obviously they do that. They manage their times. They don't double book themselves. But, sometimes it helps that they can be able to tutor online.
Yeah.
Because from that time, after 6 o'clock, it's not safe for people to be, going around, up and down. So these are online lessons after hours.
All right. So, and this is an idea I'm sharing with everyone who might be interested.
Yes.
I want it to be me. If someone provided a facility for your online test to go to, soundproofed, nice, microphones, cameras, everything, would you be willing to buy it on that? Copy this if you want.
Yes, absolutely. And we can even go as far as availing our center. Our center is a 3-story building.
Okay.
we are in
So
charge
there's
of
that
the
corner
whole,
which can be set up.
which can
to
be
do
set
that.
up.
Okay.
Yes,
Virtual
yeah.
learning.
Virtual learning. Usually the tutors do it from their homes, but like you're saying, sometimes there's distractions,
Yeah.
background noise, the internet is not good. We have like 3 or 4 Starlinks at our HQ. So if there's something that you could set up or anyone is interested, we can set up something there, the sound, the cameras, everything, then we can have nicer online sessions.
Right. So a last one, this is an opinion-based one, right? A lot of Botswana are struggling to teach English outside the country because Botswana is not qualified to teach English. The South Africans are, yet we learn more English than they do.
We do.
What do you think should be done from a government perspective to Botswana who want to teach English outside the country?
I was about to say screw the government, but I was like, hey, I don't know who's watching this show, but I was like, to hell with the government. Yeah, as a tutor, just go online, get a TEFL. There's a teaching of first language, foreign language. Get a TEFL there, and you are able to do that. Most of the students abroad or the platforms abroad that allow you to teach, even in China, there's one big institution in China that allows you to do teaching English online or in person. But the main thing they want is just the TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language. So you as an individual, you can do that yourself. Let's leave the government. Our money is for entertainment. In other countries, like I was shocked when I was speaking to this guy because I was on the Forbes. You remember I was on the Forbes cover. So usually we have the engagement. There's somebody who I think he was from Lithuania. He was saying he doesn't even know who the Minister of Trade is. He doesn't know who in that country because these guys are so focused in their work. They don't even care who's the president. Everyone knows the president, but they wouldn't know who the Minister of Education is or who the Minister of Trade is because they are so empowered to take their life into their hands. They don't outsource it to the government or say this person ABCD. So as young people, use that money that you are getting in any case. Do the odd jobs. Go and wash cars. Get your 30 pula. I mean, how 30 pula per car. In a day, it's 300 pula. Yeah. Our 300 pula, save.
But do you know how to count money that way, though, because of our education? Hey. I always tell people, I have sold fed cakes in a street in Joburg, Elof. Yeah, where fed cake is 1 rand. Yes. My 1 cake down the road by Faraday was 2 rands. And I had no fear. And people will say, you're selling fed cakes for 2 rands when it's 1 rand. I'm like, wait and see.
Wait and see. Yeah.
But we don't know how to count money that way. In my head, I was raising money to come back home and I said, it's 1 rand times 1,000 people in a day.
In a day.
That's all I need. I need 1,000 pula to 2,000 rands to put it aside. Yeah. And then tomorrow the same thing. 1,000 rands, put it aside. But we don't know how to count money that way. If right now, if I had a car, I would actually become an in-drive.
True.
I would literally drive for in-drive. Because for every 5 pula I made outside my fuel, times 10 people in a day, it's $50.
That's $50. Yeah.
But our education didn't teach us that. No.
Hustlers mentality. Sometimes you don't even, those guys back home, these guys by Laura how those guys this guy was telling me he makes close to 6,000 rands a month. Yeah. Tax free. 6,000. I'm like, man, you don't even have any costs. How you just give them loose change, 10 rand, 5 rand, 6,000. I'm like, how many people are making 6,000 in the office? And this was in 2010. Yeah. So just that hustlers mentality. We need to really, as a country, start to embrace that and know what we are not all going to be in the office. Yeah. 100 pulo mo dira mo strating la mo twa mo dira mo office ha o tlo kwa le go re nya ona na tlhatswa toilet o na le
machine doesn't care. Tobo, thank you very much for making time to come through. And again, best of luck in your business. Congratulations on the growth. We look forward to seeing more changes and more growth on your end.
Yeah, I appreciate you, my bro. This was a lovely time.
All right.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Stay blessed.
Sure.
Right, and that marks the end of the Think Set conversation today with Thobo Khathola. We're speaking about just education in general, but we touched base obviously on Lion Tutoring, which is one of the fastest growing tutoring agencies in the country. And I think if you are out there looking for a job and about to give up, find out how you can get a free PDGE. I hope that he'll be able to accommodate you without the official certificate for now until you can afford to pay for it. But ideally, try and find a way to get yourself employed. Remember, employment isn't only an office. You can self-employ yourself to be where you are. Thank you for joining us.